Okay, so because of an illustrious whore at YouTube, my life has been made quite the spectacle for like about 2 years, maybe 2 years. Like it's been about 2 years. So I've just decided to just append this like an addendum that I'm adding to the video that I did just to make an announcement that this is it between me and South Africa. Like this is the end of the road. It's not me. It's not the end of me and social media. It's not the end of me. And YouTube is not the end of me, and the gospel is the end of me in South Africa. It just dawned on me something really grave, that I'm not going to make myself a spectacle my whole life, and my transition from where I find myself to where it is that I'm going. I am not going to show it to, ooh, goodness, like gross, like these, like these disgusting men that I'm always lamenting against, and especially in particular this pedophile and sexual molester, this rapey, like monstrous, most beastly freak of nature called Dumi, that keeps on thinking that it's only a matter of time that I finally set off what I did. So there is a man from the United States of America, as you can see right now. What is the date? Okay, so my computer is up there. It's the 12th of May. It is the 12th of May, 2026. Alright, so it's like a good, maybe like 3 weeks since I recorded, or whatnot. I usually record every week, but I have not been recording because I already made this decision. It's just that I was not planning on sharing that I made the decision, given that it's like, I just felt like, for what? Like, it's unnecessary. Mamela, I didn't do anything. I didn't wear jewelry today. I did not do my hair. Frankly, it needs a wash. As you can see, it's really messy. I try to brush up some edges a little bit just to look a little bit presentable, but this is pretty much what I woke up in. Only difference is that, this is what I've been walking around in the past like 2 days. I brushed my teeth, washed my face, that's it. And I was not planning on doing this video. Listen, no. I was planning on just carrying on what I've been doing every single day for hours. I've been studying. I was just gonna carry on studying, but I just woke up from, listen, the past couple of days has just been that thing, right? I just woke up from like just a slew of nightmares, like a slew of intentions. Like after the last video that I posted, as at today, the last video that I posted, I was blowing steam, I was extremely incensed, and I was lamenting against the same things I lament against. These perverted, most measly, beastly, like, men. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like these gross freaks. Like I've been lamenting about that. I was talking about how I can't stand the message or whatever. Listen, the content, the name of it is something along the line, I forgot. Like, something along, like a whole bunch of my shorts. I was even speaking about how, come here, mojarading. Because like, Mamela, I was just incensed and I've been incensed and I'm blowing steam. And for anybody to fathom that despite being this incensed, despite a woman being this disgusted, this grossed out, this absolutely taken aback, shockingly, by the most devastating, perverted disposition of an entire country, for a woman who is like that, to be fathomed that the day is going to arrive when I'm going to one day walk out of here out of nothing but sheer desperation with one of these freak shows I keep on speaking against, is bizarre. But then you see, it dawned on me. I already made the decision. I told you the last video, the series that is above this here, I was lamenting about Southern Sun Hotel, go Rosebank, how I went there and I was just bombarded by something spiritual. It took me a cool 2 weeks to like essentially just dust myself off whatever under heaven it is that caught on me like blackjacks on wood. Gets off from that place. And it made me realize, Witchy, listen, the whole country is a cesspool of darkness. Right now as we speak, what is the date? 12th, I think it's the 12th of May, right? The weekend after Mother's Day, today is Tuesday, okay? There is like a whole trending news topic right now of Cyril Ramaphosa, who is facing impeachment, saying that he's not going to resign. And I was like, I told you South Africa's like freaking Zimbabwe under Robert Mugabe. That's what the country is enduring under ANC. I said it, and I've been trying to leave this country for a minute, and for the first time in 11 years going on 12, there is hope that I could actually leave. There is a sliver of hope that I could actually get out of here. And I realize that I'm embarking on it and I'm actively working on it. And so therefore it makes absolutely zero hollow no chance, like Mamela, empty chance. It makes no sense for me to stand here parading myself in front of a bunch of deadly, beastly, monotonous, yet however, in spite of all that monotony, are, like I said, dangerous men that are determined. Mamela, this is your country. You have taken it. You have loved it. You have hugged it like it's a freaking teddy bear. You've rolled around with it in some hay like it's your lover. You have done what you want to do with this country, and you've got a president that is out there giving and he's oozing Mugabe. He doesn't want to leave, even though there is a whole ruling in a court of law that, listen, let's impeach this bugger. I'm sorry, no. There is no regard for the law. There is no regard for the Constitution. There is absolutely no regard in this country for even the statute that has been signed into law by that very president, by those very presidents. There is just no respect for due process, and there is no honor and no respect for the law and how it applies to us. Sorry, I gotta blow my nose. There is no respect for anything. And I realized for as long as you're in a barbaric little circus of a country, standing in front of them as one of the most baddest people in it, next. My darling, you're gonna be like a tribute in the arena. You're gonna be like a gladiator in the Colosseum. You're going to be like in an amphitheater where people are just gawking at you, watching you die. You're going to be like one of the kids in the cabin in the woods that is inside this like weird arena, and for the life of me, people are just like enjoying watching me just striving to survive for like an iota of air. And I was like, yes, Annie, I'm sorry. I've got plans now. I've got a whole entire strategy now. I'm en route something that's very exciting now. And the Lord is blessing it. I can see it because I am just going and going and going. I am just passing and passing and passing. I am just taking in information. I am learning and I am studying in spite of, ever since the last video that I posted, there is an attack on my mind to make it impossible for me to study, except I'm a child of God. It's called I resist, and never mind that. Your spells just bounce off like some oil and just on the surface of some water. They don't do jack. So I was like, listen, I get off you a headache in just like, and I have to keep on taking Panado. Not Panado, my grandpa for you. I get on grandpa. Nah. Perpetually just curing myself from a headache. That is the only symptom that I get as a result of your witchcraft, but my brain does not actually become foggy. My ability to learn, my aptitude is not actually destroyed. I am still able to consume data. I am still able to learn, study. I'm still that girl. I'm still on my ball. I'm still on the ball. That's who I still am. However, now the ball that I have is coming with a headache that I have to every so often medicate a grandpa. And I'm like, wait a second. If I can just get rid of taking grandpa altogether, then that's good. And the only way that I am going to cease being bombarded by nightmares, the grandpa, is if people literally lose entire, comprehensive, full-on, from start to finish hope that they'll ever have me in their life. I am not anybody's nasty, seedy little, most, like, uncomfortable, unfortunate, ritual abused wife. I am no South African man's wife. I am no South African man's thing. I am no South African woman's friend. What you need to understand is that this country is done for. I am dusting my feet off. I thought to just post the 14-part series that you are gazing at above over here. Get on my own and then never come back. The decision was already made after I did that video. In the video, I was busy meandering about the prospect. of leaving, and because I was not yet comfortable, I had not yet acclimated myself to the fact of it, because I've been recording for so long and it's such a big passion of mine. So I did not want to just flat out say, no, I'm not gonna post again. Though in the run-up to me producing the content, even a week prior, pretty much when it became clear that I was going to go and study for a TEFL certificate and try and leave the country by being an English teacher for teaching English as a foreign language, I deeply cogitated on it. I did deeply ponder upon the matter. I did, to just flat out close my interaction with social media from this freaking deadbeat country. I thought about it deeply. I really did deeply consider it. But for me, it's like I've been doing this for so long, and you know when you love something and it's hard to let go, even though it ain't doing jack for you, it's like being in a really horrible relationship with a person that keeps on slapping you morata. Yeah, I mean, the obvious choice here is stark. The obvious choice here is gawking at you. It's staring at you back like a reflection in a mirror. The obvious choice is for you to leave, otherwise you're going to end up dead. But when you are holding on to somebody emotionally and you hope that they'll do better because you hope they'll be a better person or whatever, honey, you're going to find yourself in a body bag. And I was busy out here doing an etc. ... on my continuity on these platforms, on YouTube from this country. I was holding on to like a freaking GBV lover. I was holding on to a dude that has made me a freaking punching bag. Though I remember the days when he was so much simpler, so much better, there was so much happiness in him. But then he went to war, came back with PTSD and made like Michael Ealing for colored girls and threw my babies out of a window, killing them. Yeah, that therein lies the future. It doesn't matter if there was a time when a person was much better, but bottom line is now today their PTSD has made them abusive to a point where I'm facing the prospect of losing my children with a man killing them and maybe me, and then turning the gun on himself. I'm not going to be a whole movie spectacle. Do you understand? I realized, Uguti, yes, there was a better time, and yes, there was a season when it was some people could be out reaching some people for sense. But like the time has come and the time has gone. And we know that the time has come and the time has gone when even your leader is saying I'm not stepping down. When even your president is saying I'm not going anywhere. It is a cancer in the country and I've been saying it for a minute. Don't nobody here care about the law, and I feel sorry for everybody who cannot for the life of them get out. I feel so bad for everyone that cannot leave this country. Abantu that are subjugated to the tyranny of a Mugabe-esque type South Africa. I really am so sorry that your president is not freaking Idi Amin. I apologize that your leaders in the parliament, everywhere it is where you can find structures that are supposed to be caring for us, that however stripping us butt naked, I apologize that they are making some of them, they make up for the makeup, they make for the makeup that pretty much is giving some of the worst oppressors in history. I'm sorry that your leadership is freaking Stalin or Hitler or whatever, but I am not staying. I am not staying. In the one video I was lamenting about Julius Malema succeeding to get an appeal for crying out loud for the 5-year term that was passed down on no other reason but apparently racial bias, and I was like, why wasn't the South African court system even smart enough to put a colored man or an Indian man or a woman, a colored man or an Indian man or a woman to preside over that case, that this guy might not cry wolf, that this guy might not say that of course this judge is racist because for me it was like, okay, those are my thoughts, right? My thoughts were, of course this guy's gonna cry wolf, but my other thoughts were, why is South Africa so discombobulated, jumbled, mumbled in their brain that they can't even realize that you cannot try a person for inequality issues relating to race with a judge that is the race that this guy is always picking a controversy with, because then that's going to make it possible for him to appeal successfully on the grounds of race. Why is the country not figuring stuff like that out? There is something out here, there's a mind virus spreading through the country that is making it impossible for us to make proper decisions, and that is making people that are thoroughly out here, gavel dropped, guilty or whatever, sentence passed, that are flat out saying, I'm not going to jail. They're flat out saying, I'm not leaving, I'm not being impeached. Listen, we got a whole gangster for a president that got money in the couch. He is a money launderer. He is Pablo Escobar, frankly. We don't know what that money is about, but bottom line is, it is in the couch, it is a crime, and any other person in the country would have gone down for that except for him. When then the rule of law does not apply to everybody, I'm sorry, I'm leaving. I've been saying I want to leave this country, and God has been telling me I'm going to leave for a very long minute. And he told me that where I'm going is the United States of America. But you see, God is a God of process. He's a God of procedure. He is a God of surgical precision in getting things done, however, providentially. And I recognize now that I'm not going to get my voice heard and neither regarded in any kind of respectable fashion. If at all I don't make a footprint for myself on the internet, and enough for a nation like the US to imagine me a feasible member of its country, unless I am actually actively standing activistically on a rooftop, jumping up and down like oil on a frying pan in a social media space that's allowing me to do that. And I recognize that unless I frankly have a thriving YouTube ministry and a thriving YouTube personality, I even intend, seeing as I am starting to feel nice and besotted with the whole training or teaching English as a foreign language thing, as I'm going through it, as I'm watching YouTube videos, as I'm studying my TEFL certificate, with the TEFL Academy, I'm finding myself just becoming increasingly enamored with the profession. I knew that God would give me a love, if at all it's where He wants me to go, and I am growing increasingly adoring of the prospect. I then made a decision that I also want to, at some point, once my skills have been sharpened, honed, and shined, I intend to teach even on YouTube. Pretty much start a YouTube channel where that is my thing, because there are plenty of teachers that help teachers. I want to be a train the trainer. I want to be a trainer that trains other trainers. I want to be a teacher that teaches other teachers. It's what I'm getting at, and I want to start a YouTube channel for that. So that's a stream of income that I could one day in the future make that is divorced from ministry, and so the likelihood of me being censored or banned based on that is also very low. Because remember, I said in my other video that I'm trying to find streams of income. In my videos, I said that I want to find streams of income that are not ministry, because there is no, listen, you can't be trusting these social media platforms. You can't trust them to keep you on board. One day they're all sensitive and iffy and airy-fairy about a matter, and next thing your whole entire channel is demonetized. So go on right ahead and do neutral channels that are highly unlikely going to get you brought down, like bake on social media or teach on social media things like English. The likelihood of that channel ever being demonetized is very, very low. Right now there's all these AI content creators out here losing their hairs and their livelihoods, that some of them praying for them because they've lost their livelihoods, that have been demonetized because of some strange robotic AI apocalypse on AI channels done by YouTube with no discretion, having no regard for their content creators who are their bread and butter, but nonetheless they're busy demonetizing them and just like that without even considering anything, and they can't even appeal. Some of them are so bereft because they're losing homes, they're losing livelihoods. I was like, what the heck? Like, how are you gonna do that to some people? Anyway, YouTube is out here on some zombie apocalypse raid on AI channels, and it don't make no sense. It makes absolutely don't make no sense. I need to stop speaking stuff like that now. I'm an English teacher, but you get my point. It makes absolutely no sense. Do you understand what I'm saying? But they're doing it. So I realize that it's a very flaccid, it's a very fluffy, it is a very frivolous, untrustworthy space to do things that, listen, you can't even figure out what YouTube is going to come for tomorrow, but they are certainly not going to come for me when I'm busy teaching English as a foreign language, doing a couple of videos on YouTube, growing a channel of that nature. That is my future. Plus, I intend to bake all that stuff, right, using social media platforms, but I realize that for as long as I'm in this here deadbeat, dusty country, for as long as there's like a tumbleweed rolling around in my general heart pertaining a nasty country, I'm never going to get anywhere. I can try. I'll try to sit, get it, listen, I'm doing a TEFL certificate, never mind, I'm doing a TEFL certificate, but I intend to grow and grow and grow. I'm really good at stuff that I focus my energies on, so I'm eventually going to become really good at this teaching thing. I'm going to get really good. I'm going to get really good. Ultimately, I hope to also train other areas and not so much just like English as a foreign language, because I've got a broad what do you call this? I've got a broad knowledge across the board, but for that I'm probably gonna have to like study further or whatnot. We'll see what we do about my degree. That's like something that we can focus on, hop over it, be a bridge that we cross, go Bailey. But intentions are one day to start a teaching channel for subject matters that I feel I am strong at, to enable people, because it's my gift, it's what God has given me. And then of course teaching God, as in somebody who has a ministry online, that's always going to be a thing, but that will never ever be monetized. That is not something that is going to be a source of income because of one, temptation, and secondly, listen, everybody be out here coming at everybody. All right, look at YouTube. They've gone on a whole apocalyptic spree. YouTube has infected with a zombie virus, a T virus, if you will, if it was Resident Evil. AI channels, they've just come at AI channels, and some of my most instructive, some of my most beloved channels are AI. These AI channels that are to be telling Bible stories, I love them, and they're my brothers and they're my sisters. Some of them are complaining, also I'm listening, I've been demonetized, and my heart is like a soul for all that stuff. So that whole thing, yeah, YouTube, my prayer is that they will take a pill and heal from it, because it evidently needs healing. YouTube needs to go to hospital for this and get themselves patched back together again. They need to go into surgery and get a transplant of sorts. They need an organ donation to fix the sickness that they have got, that they are now vomiting on AI channels. They need to fix it, otherwise they're going to lose trust, like just in totality as a social media platform from all of their creators. Because how in the world do you rock up Mr. Indian CEO one day and say that AI is the future for YouTube, and then you go and you demonetize almost every AI channel on YouTube? Who are you? What are you doing? What are you doing exactly? Don't make no kind of sense, right? Again, English out there eluding me, because you know when we speak casually with colloquial terms and slang and all that jazz, it's not really gonna do anything if you're an English teacher. So it does not make any sense what YouTube is doing to people, but there are certain channels that you can sort of kind of trust are not gonna go anywhere when you're on YouTube. And then like, yeah, because I mean, why would you come at teachers teaching English? Like everybody, it's a what do they call that? A lingua franca. It's a language that is spoken across the world and is regarded as a language of instruction for pretty much every single country. With English being that thing, what are the odds that teaching that online is going to get brought low? Listen, it's a market that's always going to get tapped into, but you don't know if YouTube is going to now need a liver transplant again. We don't know. Mara, you got a hitch when it comes to social media. You don't know when they're going to go awry on some people. But I don't think that that's going to happen. So I've got plans. But I realize that these plans that I have in order to go and essentially exploit certain niches, certain markets, in order to be an economically viable citizen of the world at large. I can't do that from this deadbeat country where our president is like Robert Mugabe and Stalin in one fell swoop. Like, I can't do that. I cannot do that from South Africa. And I realize that for as long as I invest all of my might, my splendor, my steam, my everything, my girth, and take it on all very hard knock. What the heck? Like, yo, here in this country, listen, I'm always going to be besotted. I'm going to be salivated after by men who are of the imagination. They're besotted with me. Freaks that are in the business of slithering in like some snakes into churches and marrying God-fearing women even though they're ritualists. I am going to be subjugated to the tyranny of an African disease. Do you understand? Where God-fearing women are being wed off to some of the most diabolical men and then are facing either misery in marriages or worse yet, murder, gender-based violence. I am not going to stand here where some entitled freak that's been married 10 times before thinks that because I'm 41, chunky years old, I gotta marry him. A freak that thinks that because I'm 41, turning 42 in 2026, that I mean really I ain't got no options. When listen, this is my worst day. This is not a good day for me in terms of how I look. This is not a particularly awesome day in terms of my look. It's not my best. Listen, my hair needs a wash up there. If you come closely, you might even see a little blanket in there. My edges are not laying. I'm not wearing much jewelry other than the jewelry that I sleep in. I'm not wearing rings. I did not try to look good for this video, and this is me on my worst day. And yet there is like a beast, beasts, plural, yeah. Seeing as we are out here teaching English now, aren't we? Yeah, beasts, plural, that listen with a present continuous, a type, disposition working around, have been and continue to still imagine that I am their girlfriend because I'm 41. It's a whole thing that's going to keep on happening all the way to infinity unless I extract myself from in front of these monsters while I am still only paraded in front of them. Some most gnarly, beastly, psychopathic harlot at YouTube, Umufazi, a woman, saw it fit to parade me in front of some of the biggest and baddest beasts and monsters of this country, and then was like, oh, look at that, salivate after it, lick it like it's a lollipop, take it for yourself, put it in your house, ram into it and give it HIV because it is struggling, and I'm gonna make sure that it keeps on struggling. The chick went and grabbed me and my pretty head and then drowned me in like mezi ako toilet. Now that her face is damp and doused in water from the toilet full of fecal matter and urine, take her, lick her, because now she's been made naught. Some freak chick made a decision that otong parida pila banaba snacks, and for 2 years for 2 years I have been having a rough time. If anything, I think it's like 5 in total because this chick, this year censorship. But for as long as I am still in a struggling position, I will draw to myself some of the biggest and baddest black jacks on wool that you did not invite on your jacket, but they're there anyway because you walked through a bush. They're there anyway. Do you understand? There's nothing that you can do. I will forever be dealing with lint on a coat. Do you understand? For people. It's destroying a perfectly good garment. Do you understand? I'm ever going to get pursued by them for as long as I don't have my own independence, and for as long as I am posting from a country that is, like I said, our president is Hitler. For as long as I'm out here posting in a nation where people are strangely able to just walk free even though they've got a whole criminal sentence passed down for whatever it is that are the misdemeanors that they walked in. This is South Africa, take it. Like, listen, gurgle blood while you're at it and then breathe your last eventually, but not while I'm out here gawking and gazing at you. Abantu bazoplanela umfazi that has not had sex in 14 years, going on 15 years. To just put me in some kind of a tryst at a rendezvous, go some crazy country, ramming into me because this beast done jet set me somewhere in a foreign country. South Africa. After just setting me and making out of me a ruined woman, and then be like, I finally hit it, I finally got that, I finally slayed the woman that nobody could get. When it is men's a freaking flex, making like Danny Bravo and Hercules in one fell swoop, when it is men's flex to finally sleep with a woman that's been chased for 14 years going on 15, I'm sorry, that is a space that you need to do everything in your power to flee from. So I'm like Kabu at this point in Africa. I am like Samuel Morris. Go and read up the story of a young boy called Samuel Morris. His original name was Kabu, and then when he converted to Christ, he took on the name Samuel Morris, where there was like a tribe of beastly, gnarly, cannibalistic freaks that had held him hostage, and Christ set him free, almost like the experience Saul on the road to Damascus, blinding everybody around and loosing his bonds, and he ran, Kabu ran, and where he landed was a space where there were missionaries in that Africa, I think it was Nigeria, and when he got to where he got, he was evangelized and ultimately came to Christ, and this here young Kabu wanted to go to America, and guess what, he went to America, he got there, and it was by persistence and the providence of God, a young boy from Africa that was living in a village somehow found himself in America. Do you understand? Because he determined to go, because he wanted to go and see someone in the US that was very, very inspirational to him. I'm like Kabu. Understand? I'm like Samuel Morris. I am a person that it does not appear like I'm going to make it. It doesn't appear as if though I'm ever going to get to where I need to get. I'm not going to get to America. Or I'm not going to get to South Korea. I'm not going to get there, because how are you going to get there living a life like this? Except I am a child of the God of Kabu, who set a boy free in the middle of cannibals in his village. and ran and arrived miraculously in the cup of some evangelists and missionaries in his country. And then ultimately, after being trained English, found himself on a ship after insisting and persisting and insisting that took him to exactly where he needed to get. Can nobody ever fathom that this boy could ever get to where he got, but he got there. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's who I am. I am a woman where it is highly unseemly, highly unlikely that I am going to get to where I want to go, given that I've got a determination to go there. And yet, by providence, God is going to take me there. And right now, where I am fleeing to first is the missionary camp that's going to teach me English or give me freedom to be myself. From there, I'm going to America. Listen, I am going to America like I am coming to America. I'm getting Eddie Murphy. And coming to America, I'm going. Ngiyahamba. Kodwa ngizohamba via detour to South Korea. And I say that ngizohamba to get detour via South Korea only because God showed me that I'm going to Seoul, South Korea. I only know that that is a fact because ngiyahamba vele, because God showed me that I'm moving to Seoul. And manje, when I'm in another country where people are not actively picking up bone and a controversy with every last thing that I am, they're not going to stand in the middle of me and my teaching channel on YouTube and mamela madimabe get on an airplane, kena mohara sefofane njatowe ya like most gnarly harlot, get on a plane and go to South Korea and be among the administrating teams over there, if at all YouTube has a base over there, and ascertain that my ministry, my anything that I do on social media goes nowhere. That's the thing. Your little most monstrous, measly, gnarly, terroristic and oppressive syndicate and regime within which you function in this country, it's got jurisdiction, my darling. It's got jurisdiction. It's got jurisdiction. You can only abuse, afflict, harass, and maraud. Yeah, from South Africa. So when I'm in South Korea, all the best finding somebody there to do exactly what it is that you're doing. There are some countries that don't, they don't take prisoners, do you understand? There's still quite a lot of respect for law and order. And rather, cantankerous, and in Jakaha, listen, any respect, more Africa for your own country. Jakaha, on your own beds where you sleep at night. Seeing as you're going to go and defecate where you eat, honey, then losing people to the diaspora is what you need, but do not anticipate on that day that you're going to succeed in the diaspora. You're not going to follow me to South Korea. You're not going to follow me. So I made a decision. After waking up from just a slew of nightmares all week long, I tried to ignore them. I tried to just brush them off on some whatever, because I have not actually, I did not valelisa. I said that I'm going to keep working, everything. Ooh, when I go and get my passport, all that jazz, but for what? For any. I'm standing in front, I'm like, not John G. Lake, but J.G. Payton, in a house praying when I'm encircled by freaking cannibals. And it is only by the miracle of God with like gargantuan angels outside of my house that they retreat. But frankly, just like former missionaries that came before me, I was facing being devoured by people who actually are in the business of eating people. I was almost devoured by freaking human beings. Do you understand what I'm saying? As a person. But like, just like J.G. Payton, my prayers came through. The Lord encamped around me, a legion of angels that caused these men with their salivatory cannibalistic general disposition to retreat. Look at feasting beasts that were of the imagination that they don't retreat. They don't take no for an answer. Look at them retreat, because what are you going to do with a whole big fat gargantuan angel outside of my house? What are you going to do with that? I've got special protections. It's what you must understand. I'm like the president of a country. Yeah, that's what I am in the kingdom of God. Yeah, I be out here getting encircled by some pretty and like formidable, impenetrable, impregnable forces. But you see, for as long as I am in this position more now, these cannibals gonna keep on going back to the drawing board, trying again and again and again, trying again and again. And then there is nothing more disgusting to me, nothing more nauseating than insha engizonda ngenhliziyo yami yonke xesha ngifila ngifisa ngathi ingashona izitshela ukuthi izongithola finally. There was a man from the United States of America that stalked me for a cool 2 years. Look at that number 2. It just keeps doing its rounds amidst these stalkers, don't they? God gives them 2 years to repent. They don't repent. And then he extracts me from an ecosystem. An American man that also, based on my life conditions, thanks to, like I said, a harlot at YouTube. It's just always been this harlot at YouTube. Made a man figure, but like no one is watching your band, mus. Your channels keep on, like nobody cares. Thanks to little harlots in my country. Women in Jafela that just keep on laying themselves on the floor like a Nando's chicken, getting rammed into by all different kinds of queuing men. Imagine that I need to go Nami, Nyozi Bega on that pornography set. Women like these have put me at the mercy of some of the most licentious, seedy, measly, unseemly, devastatingly diabolical, malevolent men. Listen, the worst of the earth, the creamiest of the crop among the wicked, Yeah, think I'm their wife, Mamela. They made me homicidal. Out here fantasizing about driving a bread knife into a man's chest. Yeah, killing a man with a blunt knife like that. That's what under heaven it is that this here little gnarly whore at YouTube did. A whole bunch of women put me prostrate at the feet of some of the most beastly men in the world. Never mind, in my country. But right now, the one that's all up in my grill is especially pesky, gnarly, because he's got money, and secondly, he is in my nation, and so for those reasons, he figures that since he's around the corner, I mean, duh, is teeming at the folds, bubbling. He is looking like a petri dish in his body with STDs. Uyakula lo muntu. Uyakula. I don't even like Mamela. Legasi, I wouldn't even be surprised if this guy does not make it out of 2026. He is sick, and yet he thinks ukuthi uzolala on me. Uzongijulukela. I'm going to just overlook the fact that he's got genital warts. I'm going to overlook Tabayori, he's got shingles. I'm going to overlook Tabayori, he's got a strange rash. And I'm also going to overlook Tabayori, his manhood smells. I'm going to overlook Tabayori, his manhood is inflamed. I'm also going to overlook Tabayori. I'm going to overlook all that because listen, he's the only one that I got. Odumi. Mamela, I am encircled by freak shows. Tabanna. Mara, this is the country where presidents, despite being found severely wanting, I'm not leaving. Hey? Jennifer Lawrence to Jamie Foxx, like yeah, they got pipes like Crank. So Ramaphosa, he's like, I am telling you, I'm not leaving my presidency for as long as I'm sitting here. No way, no way, I'm leaving without my presidency coming to a term. Ending because I'm stubborn. But South Africa, South Africa, you're gonna love me. You're gonna love me. That's Cyril Ramaphosa. He out to making like Jennifer Hudson in Dreamgirls. I mean, when your president is out just singing, I'm not going, baby, then who are everybody else? Everybody else is their daddy's daughter. Everybody else is their daddy's son. Everybody else is their father's child. Everybody else is the president's follower. So, of course, Naya Udumi is telling me he's not going. He's not living without me. He's not gonna wake up and find out that there's nobody there. No way. No way that he's living without me. And Karabo, you're gonna love me. My man, I be at the end. That's to me. I mean, what do you do as Jamie Foxx on that day? Papa, just like what happened in the movie. Walk out at his highest note. You just walk. Go. You just walk. There's nothing you can do with a person singing You're Gonna Love Me. Nothing. So I realized that for as long as I keep on coming here, parading myself in front of a bunch of beasts, I'm gonna be in harm's way. The guy in the United States of America, the American guy that I dated for like 2 seconds and he turned out to be a most beastly mongrel and all these guys with HIV. It's like, is there anyone that's not HIV positive? Anyway, whatever. He was like, you're gonna love me. I'm telling you, I'm not going. Everybody got pipes when it's necessary. Under other circumstances, when it comes to singing You're Gonna Love Me, you suddenly get pipes. Like everybody can sing when it comes to that song. Is that what we're doing? Shem. What cured me from that little beast, that mongrel, that most heinous freak? It's when at their highest note. Yeah, at their highest note. Yeah, when they are at their beefiest entitlement, like halal food on South African shelves. It's a beefy entitlement. That's when you just walk out. Yeah, walk out when they are at their beefiest entitlement. And that's exactly what I'm doing. Walking out of a country that's going to shove halal food down my throat. I'm pretty certain that when I go to South Korea, I'm not going to be dealing with any of that. Where every last biscuit you pick up on the shelf is halal. Where every last freaking baked good, where every last meat package, where every last cinnamon spice is halal. No, food sacrifice to idols, you've taken it as a country deal. In South Africa, where you've been infiltrated by Islam, but it's not even that clear. Soon, tomorrow, Sharia law in this country. Let yourselves fall apart. But I wasn't planning on being here very long, and indeed I don't plan on being here very long. The guy, the beast, that suddenly developed pipes, is very shiny. That he ought to be, shiny like a brasso. That little monster yako America, I shook him after 2 years of stalking. But guess what it took? Yeah. At the height of him saying, I'm not going at his highest note, I just walked. I left my old channels, and thanks to this like most gnarly, pesky whore at YouTube, she made sure that no one can search me and find me on the internet. And so therefore, while that guy was able to find me through search words, keywords, and even my banking details, I made sure in this new ministry that my websites, everything that I had before that could be searched, and so therefore successfully find my ministry, are gone. I went and I did URL transforming. You know those websites where you can change your URL and make it shorter? I used that for leading people to my blog, my website, and also to my previous ministries, and I extracted altogether my banking details, anything that could be used as a search keyword to find me. I got rid of it. And what happened? Until I was out. I left. A few months later, he did a spell. Bring back lost lover. Boomerang witchcraft, but I just, whatever, it was nothing. He was trying to get me to go back to any of my old ministries. A stalker that never would have left me alone. Never. He would have never left me alone for as long as he had sight of me. But thanks to this like most gnarly, beastly whore at YouTube, no one can find me. I'm not being recommended anywhere. And it shook a stalker that gave me the hori city shakes. It shook a man that used to make me wake up and sweat skilla. He used to visit some Jamaican sorcerer that he would pay thousands of dollars to just to get me in his life. And I keep saying, well, no, I'm not blocked because witchcraft is not just standing on my views on YouTube. No, what's standing on my views is a whore. It's a person. And if you get rid of that person, in spite of how much witchcraft you can sprinkle me with like you are that water feature in your garden, I will grow anyway because I am in Christ. Human beings are the issue here. Actual human beings that are stubborn, sitting on a woman's chest like a monster truck at a demolition derby, are sitting on my chest. How much that can do a an invisibility spell to make sure that people don't even see my ministry, my content, anything I post online. Stuff like that don't work on Christians. It might work on worldlings, but it doesn't work on Christians. With us, it has to be physical sabotage. I keep saying that time and time again. It has to be somebody physically locking you in a room. It has to be somebody physically banning you, making sure that nobody can see you. But if you're left to fly like a bird, like you Nelly Furtado, I like a bird. If you're just left to go and fly like a bird, understand, on that day you will flourish, you will thrive, in spite of just a cornucopia of witchcraft. So what I need to shake are ugly people. What I need to shake are human beings. Human beings are the issue. But you see, all things work out together for the good of them who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. I shook a stalker because of censorship. And that stalker, if my life was not the way that it was, because you see, these are the kinds of people that need you to be weak. They need you to be struggling. They need you to be suffering. They've got a whole Hegelian dialectic type of mindset where it is that they cause disaster in your life and then make themselves your only rescuer. Yeah, they make themselves your rescuer. They make themselves the only solution to your sorrowful problems. They're stupid. They've got a messianic complex. Yeah, these individuals would never ever target someone that is ozipete, that can hold water, that can hold their own. So they don't go for just any woman they find pretty on the internet. They go for women that are out on a limb, disenfranchised, vulnerable. And they figured me vulnerable. Nothing of me is vulnerable. I ought to be walking around all the day long cracking a whip. Nonetheless, there is a perceived vulnerability about me, even though I am strong in Christ. And that alone made some gnarly. I am gorgeous. I am quite the beauty. Dealing with Anjena. You're in danger, in harm's way. And in my vulnerability, well, perceived vulnerability, my poverty, this here which is the sorrow of my daily soul, I then got looked at by some of the most biggest and baddest zibotos of earth. Diboto. As in men out here lacking teeth, got halitosis, all their teeth that do remain in the mouth are brown. And all the day long, they've got like just a litany of STDs and everybody has dumped them. Baby mamas are always upset. Everybody's steaming. Everybody got like steam coming out of their nostrils and their hair because they're mad at them. Men like these think that I'm their wife. Get all this. Listen, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I am too gorgeous and I'm too fabulous and I'm too godly for any of these grubby paws to be handling, for any of them to be handling me with all their mire, with their miry hands, with their soot like cloaked hands. Just mine dust. They wanted to handle me on my white polo neck. Like what in the world? What is with that claw? A black full of mine soot on my shoulder. They want to do that. They want to come into my life and do all such things as those. And I'm like, ugh, gross. When he is, when you're walking down the aisle to him, because he's on a wheelchair because he can't stand for too long. But you're marrying him? He's on a wheelchair because his body's so weak from full-blown AIDS. but he thinks you're his wife. Listen, we don't know what's going on. There is no escaping such beasts as these other than to completely disappear from their sight, seeing as they perceive you as vulnerable. And the only time that they will then be allowed to see you again is when they can't possibly touch you. And so, habagazama, they'll get tased. They'll get knocked out the way like the guy that tried to assassinate Trump. They'll get massacred, put on the ground, floored, before they can even sneeze. And I need to go and encircle myself with that which makes crazy little assassins perched on the rooftop to be caught before they can even so much as say, ugh. Yeah, I need to put myself in a position to have protection around my life. And there is no protection that's going to come into my life unless I am in myself independent financially, and I've got some people. I've got some friends. I've got a church that loves me. Maybe even a man that I'm getting married to. And so I realized, since Bamplanela, I just woke up this morning to overhear one, I'm gonna turn 47 without anything. Yeah, the thing is, you're not even gonna know where I'm at when I'm 47. You're not gonna have sight of me. You're not gonna know what I'm doing. You're not gonna have access to my footprint, my handprint, any print of mine, finger. You're not gonna be able to see it. Because I'm going to vamoosh, disappear from South Africa. And the next time anyone sees me on social media will be when my channel gets recommended to you in whatever capacity. Am I teaching? Am I baking? Am I doing ministry? From South Korea. Iloro, by the time you watch my video, I'm already sitting on 5,000 subscribers, and that particular video you're watching is sitting on 18,000 views. Then on that day, you're gonna be like, oh snap. She started a channel in South Korea and it worked. It's thriving. It's being proliferated. Yeah, pushy. It's moving. It's a train. Choo choo. And there's nothing I can do seeing as I'm climbing it midway. I get training. Halfway to its destination, it arrives at the train station. I get on board and then I decide that I'm going to tell the train station guy, the train driver, stop because Nike Fitlile, listen, I have aborted this train. And so because Nike Fitlile, and I'm giving Harry Potter all the day long, the train driver will kick you out as one who is causing public disorder. Please, there is somebody trying to stop the train. All you will do is grovel in sorrow. All you will do is grovel in sorrow because one of my videos got recommended to you from a vantage point where it is that I'm thriving and you don't have administrative powers to ruin me, to end me, to ascertain that nobody ever sees me. And on that day, I'm going to be a happy chappy, a happy Christian. That has got people I'm sending the email. Also, my sister, I love what you said the other day online. Can we fellowship? Well, I'm going to be responding to emails, seeing as you saw it, but to make sure that nobody even emails me. Kept me cold and felt like a frosty little ice. A frosty little icicle. You done did all that. No. By the time you see my content, I am going to be hanging 10, making like a homie, swinging on a hammock left and right. Kizwinka. Amen. From a place where it is that I've got people. Dinner guests. For whom I am experimenting with my new sourdough for my new cinnamon rolls that I have out here, like mastered in my kitchen, like I'm a connoisseur or whatever. Like I'm a savant for baking, because that's what's about to give. Yeah, there are gonna be people that are out to be experimenting with my fruit tarts or my cinnamon buns, because I'm experimenting in my kitchen with people that I have in my life that can actually test my goods. That's what's giving. Fruit tart. Experiment sourdough recipe entsha. You think I'm gonna go and out to be rolling, folding, ipart pastry, mobotorong. Saruri ndefela pelansha. And that's when say mo wheelchair because he couldn't stand for too long. After all, he's always getting nice and disoriented from all these STDs. There were anticipations that that's gonna be my future. So I'm done. I had to do this like additional video, this addendum if you will, adding it at the end of my 14-part series, so there's gonna be 15 parts now. I'm going to add all the stickers. I have not deleted anything because with my final edits I was like, whew, like breathe a sigh of relief. So I just left it there. I didn't delete anything. I did not empty anything out in order to make space. So it's still going to have all the stickers. It's still going to have the same sort of kind of CI look and feel, but this is evidently a different day. I've told you it's the 12th of May, or was it 20th? Did I say 21st? 12th. It's May. I am in the middle. I'm not in the middle. I'm not yet to arrive in the middle, but I am progressing in my TEFL certification. And I'm doing well, like duh, I always do well. I'm that girl. I'm that 90% girl. I'm that 88% girl. That's who I am. I'm not only doing well, I'm enjoying myself. I'm enjoying the studies. I'm enjoying watching the YouTube videos. I'm enjoying the tutorials. I'm enjoying the interaction with other people that I'm going to be part of the community of. I'm having a dandy time. Do you understand what I'm saying? Just basically fathoming my future as an English teacher, teaching English as a foreign language. And I have certainty in my bones that in particular I'm going to be moving to South Korea. So I'm not fretting, I'm not fronting, I'm not worried that once I get my TEFL certification that I'm going to struggle to get a job. I'm not going to struggle to get work. I'm not going to sit around after gathering dust. I told you long ago that I had a dream of me going to the air to the Home Affairs, it's a passport thing. I had a dream of me arriving, go out time, but a beautiful dress, or shine, or yellow, pulling like a luggage. At an airport, about to go, and I thought that was me leaving for the United States of America. It turns out that the country in question rather here is South Korea. I told you guys that I had these dreams and I could not fathom how they would come to pass, how in the world this would happen. But I mean, you harassed me so badly that one day my mother made a recommendation that why don't you try to look this whole teaching thing up, and I did. Now I'm registered for TEFL certification and I'm somewhere in the middle, en route to finish it. Well, I'm getting it did. I'm hopping from module to module. I'm gonna pass. Like, listen, I got a vision the other day of success tick of me getting my TEFL certification. Once I get my TEFL certification, I'm gonna do my top-up courses, I'm gonna fix up my CV, and in particular, I am going to apply for South Korea because that's where God showed me I'm going. So I'm gonna go to Seoul, and once I'm there, from another country, using a different IP, like a completely different computer address, I might take my Mac if they will allow it. I'm pretty sure they will allow it, but I'm definitely going to be buying a new computer from a new IP and from a new country with new jurisdictional laws. I am going to start a YouTube channel. And from South Korea, look at me thrive with people having attempted to make me feeling that there's no future for me. South Africa, I told you, this here country of yours is going down the drain like it's some fecal matter. This here nation is being flushed. It's being run by ritualists, and your little lackluster wannabe Christianity that's not really Christianity is the reason why God has handed you over to our ritualists. You are mixing, you are masalaring, you have got Christ and Dagon, you've got Christ and Chemosh, you've got Christ and Molech, you have got Christ and Baal. Up your sleeves. You got Christ and ancestors, baby. You got Christ and Sangoma Machek. You got Christ and Mpepo. You got Christ and your own ideas. You got Christ and attitude. You got Christ and pride. You got Christ and I'm not stepping down as a president because I got money in accounts that you don't even need to know where it comes from. You got Christ and your criminality. You got Christ and your sabotage. You got Christ and gossip. You got Christ and fornication. You got Christ and meanderings about dilly-dallying with false doctrine. You have got Jesus and a job you got through a side piece, otherwise known as a sangoma. You got Christ like that. And so because that's your Christianity, you of course think I've got Christ and an adulterous affair. Yeah, you saw that. You looked at me and were like, okay, we all have Christ and something else. And so you figured that I also got Christ and my put Malisa. I got Christ. I got a YouTube channel. Listen, it's thriving. And I've got lots of views and I've got money. I'm monetized. Look, I'm on the YouTube partnership program. Woo, hallelujah. But I've also got Jabu. I've also got Dumi. I've also got put Malisa A, B, Z, Z, PQ, and STD gonorrhea. But listen, I've got Christ and all that. You saw yourselves in me and you saw me in you. The one in Defilor, and that's only a matter of time because after all, everybody got Christ and something else. Yeah, no, I got Christ and that's it. There's only one name given among men by which they must be saved. And his name is Jesus. Hallelujah. I got Christ and that's it. Listen, that's where the sentence ends with a full stop gavel. And when the gavel drops from heaven, where the justice maker Alshab be dropping a gavel, the sentence actually takes. And the person here to be impeached is actually impeached. If the Lord is like, scoot, move to the left, move to the right, get out of the way, be extracted. Esikobonyana mara miriri watswa modimo ha di le ka situation re dilanga yona ka Cyril. No, ha di le ka situation re dilanga yona ka Malema. No, ha di le ka situation re dilanga yona ka dinja tse ke re ko tsona tswang monna ke le batlelang yona sis Dumi nyanyanyisa ngama STD wenu that are going to make you very weak on a wedding day, but you want to marry me anyway. Nonetheless, basta bon. Yeah, such things don't just stick, they don't just hang, they don't just continue to proliferate, spread, get fat like they're a nutty professor. Things like those don't just continue to get fat like the nutty professor, do you understand? When God has made a decree. And y'all gonna know what time it is because I belong to the one true God where there is no other name given among men by which they must be saved other than his. And when then a person, he has taken up a cause for them, you will know what time it is. You will know what consecration and honor for God and hating idols achieves in a woman's or a man's life. You will know what happens in the lives of people that make like Joseph and pray through abandonment, pray through sabotage, pray through betrayal, and pray through false witness. You will know that these people come up on the other side being the second most powerful men in the whole entire country. You will know. You will find out what happens when a person latches on to God when it looks like nothing gives. You will know what it's like to be Job, restored to the baddest daughters in the game, the baddest sons in the game. You will know what it's like to be a man or a woman that holds fast to God no matter what happens. You will know what it's like to observe the testimony of Hannah. Hello. I prayed and I got mine. I prayed and I got my children. I prayed to no other God but my God, to no other God but the God, to no other God but my King. You will know how this gives. But before then, seeing as the scriptures make it clear that if they persecute you in one town, flee to the next. I'm not gonna hang in this ugly little cesspool. Dust mites. The scriptures make it clear that a prophet has no honor in his own hometown, and God could not perform too many miracles in Nazareth precisely because of such a feat as that. Plus, those same Nazarites try to have Christ killed. He disappeared among them into like, they wanted to push him off a cliff, and then he just disappeared among them and found himself somewhere else, and I believe that somewhere else was in Samaria. If at all you don't like God, you don't gotta like him, but those who do like him, he is always going to have their backs, babies. Understand that's a thing. And I am a daughter of my beautiful King Jesus. And y'all ain't gonna barge. Linzeling planela sis. Take your stanky country that smells like a green dust. That's very, very, very poignant. It's like sulfuric. Inga like sulfur. Because God is planning sulfur and brimstone for it. Take your South Africa. Take your unloving, bereft nation. Take your tortoise country that's growing at a snail's pace, even though it was supposed to be the baddest and biggest country in Africa. Take it. Take your economic collapse. Take your gurglings. Take your foaming at the mouths with all of the overdosing of your persons on occult magic. Take your bread buttered on both sides and your cake and eating it too that you want. Continue to be some of the most beastly criminal men, marrying and see if at all the country is not going to brew ugly little hybrid babies like their dads. Keep on taking your country that's raising up gangsters to be the only thing that makes any kind of sense in the country, a crime state. Abantu batla ujaburoto boy boys tshwantse nje fela o lo gqeza amandlo. Uma ufuna ukudla kwamele uyogqekeza amandlo mntwanami. Mme wa teng ka nako teng ulamba alihi arapela ke mozalwane o larapela. Mara ngwana ha ke le kentsha nka bana ba lona ba tlonkang di drugs ba tlhokafala from an overdose. Take your nation that's going to make out of the youth dead youth from drug overdoses. But I am not going to give birth to a single child that's going to overdose on some drugs. And neither am I going to marry a man that's going to basically wait for me at the end of that aisle in a wheelchair because he's so sick and so weak on our wedding day, yet he insisted on taking a wife anyway. No, thank you. I am not the bride of some beastly psychopath that is going to make himself look okay for just 2 seconds, that I might regard him as feasible. You thought, or you could, when has pressurizing and forcing a person, ever worked to win affection? When? When you are used to just pinning people down and just breathing on them heavy. How did that guy? Of course, what I am, what I am is nothing, dog. It's nothing. Yeah. So having put that out there, seeing as in the Bible it is written that if they persecute you in one town, flee to the next. I have made a decision that seeing as I've got something that is occupying my time quite handsomely and I'm happy with it, seeing as I am actively enjoying my studies right now, I'm having such a good time, seeing as I am able to invest hours in studying every day and not feel like it's a burdensome feat, I'm actually really enjoying it, seeing as I am there, like a bear, little beasts and monsters, little psychopaths, little cogitators, little thinkers, marauding mongrels. I don't need to be doing videos for hours on end. If anything, I haven't recorded in 2 weeks and I'm quite okay because I'm studying. I have something to take up my time. And when I'm finished with my studies, I'm going to do my top-up courses that are going to take up more time. I'm going to be working on my CV and I'm going to be actively working on moving to another country. I am going to be applying for my passport. I am going to be making arrangements to leave the country. That's more than enough on my hands, babies. For me to not feel kind of knocked out, afflicted, abandoned, harassed by the fact that I'm not posting on YouTube, but I so loved my ministry. I did. I loved my creative work over here. But you didn't, did you? You didn't love it. I loved it. You didn't. You thought that I was your side chick. You thought that I was something you're gonna nibble into like it's a biscuit. You disrespected the crap out of me. And well, if there's somewhere else where I'm gonna get to do that which I love to do without all this sexual harassment, if there is another environment where I'm not going to be somebody's prospective side chick, then I will wait however long it takes for me to get to South Korea. A year? How long is it gonna take for me to get there? I have sought the Lord's face to ascertain that I am already working by the end of this year. We are currently in May. I will likely be done with my TEFL certificate maybe end of June. I might be done. So it's possible that I could be working by the end of the year. It's possible, but we don't know. However long it takes, a year, 6 months, 4. Frankly, what I'm getting at is that the first time you're gonna see a video of mine recorded, even my wigs, all my wigs that I bought, I got other ones from Temu. My wigs, all the stuff that I got for ministry, essentially that which is my aesthetic side of life. I'm not gonna be rocking any of those in this country. Well, maybe I might be rocking them if I decide to go out there in the wilderness and just feel like nobody's gonna see it. I wanna play, record button from this country Yeah, I'm never gonna do it again. Well, no, let me not say I'm never gonna do it again. I might record my whole application journey and my whole going to the Home Affairs and my whole going to the airport, but the collation of the video and the sharing of the footage, the sharing of the video is gonna be my first video in my new ministry from South Korea.